people do want me to set up freaking goat cam. So,
Yeah, welcome to our Sunday edition of Goats and Dragons. Good morning, everybody.
I'm not comfortable with bringing them up into my room yet, so no.
Well,
poop everywhere.
Oh, they'll shit everywhere.
There will be
They'll find
goat
new
poop everywhere.
and fascinating ways to shit in places you never imagined.
But we're going to try to imagine those things today because it is Dungeons & Dragons, a game of the imagination, and we are going to roll to see exactly where Clues' goats will poop in her house.
Blah!
No, we're not going to do that. What we are going to do...
Trick question everywhere.
It's your question. There is not one place. But we are going to play some Dungeons & Dragons, and I am St. Brian, otherwise known as Brian Wiggins. I will be the Dungeon Master for this motley crew, and I will try to herd these goats into a direction that's shaped like an adventure, but we will see how that happens. I have not been successful in 3 years, but maybe today will finally be the day. It will not. Spoiler alert. But this is Dungeons & Dragons. This is Team X. Team Xenagog. We are an official franchise of Acquisitions Incorporated, operating out of Pinedale with exclusive rights to the Chandlewood region, but their missions have taken them hither and yon across the Sword Coast, and we will find ourselves in Waterdeep very, very shortly. But first, we must complete the ancient ritual of introducing today's Personas Dramate. Persona Dramate?
It's the other way around.
The cast, Dramatis Personae. And I knew that didn't sound right. English major. But yes, let us go ahead and introduce who's playing who today. And we shall start, as we always do, to my left.
I'm Clues playing Jeremiah Gem Weaver that recently has acquired goats. Goats! And it's funny because I was like, I wonder if the microphone, I had to adjust some levels because I normally have my window open. My window's right there, which my mic is also over there. So I'm like, I wonder if they can hear because that's what they sound like. And they will sound like that until you feed them.
Well, wouldn't you?
Well, I mean,
But I fed them.
are they like cats in which, like, I just fed you, you don't need more food, and they're like, no,
Yes.
still more food.
Well, they're baby goats.
Yes, and then if it's not food, then it's attention. So it's just this kind of vicious cycle. But they're funny and they're cute.
Anywho. Moving along to my right.
Hi, I'm
Hi.
Viking Goat, and I play Sonic General Trunk. And I am not a goat, an actual goat of any sort.
You're not an actual goat?
I'm not an actual goat. It's just a nickname.
Oh my god, I need to get them little Viking helmets and then I can see the
And we'll have actual Viking goats. Oh my god, it's too adorable. Moving along to the bottom right corner of your screen.
I'm Blind Cleric, playing Human Fighter Hugon Valander. And I have no goats or goat-related happening.
I'm goatless.
Oh,
I am
and
goatless.
There's no
in this
goat,
moment.
no goat propaganda coming from him.
There's no goat agenda that I have to push. So
All goats.
I have nothing.
No, we need a hashtag something.
His agendas are limited to beards, beer, and that's probably it.
Coffee
I had
right
some
now.
amazing
Beef
ramen
jerky.
yesterday.
Beef
I
jerky
could talk
and
about
ramen.
that for a couple of hours.
Oh yeah. Wait, what type? What was the base?
Black garlic tonkatsu,
Tonkatsu.
and
Okay.
with spicy pastes.
All right, let's save this for table talk. 'cause
Yes.
I got some notes.
I have questions.
I
that
didn't
need
make it,
answers.
so like I don't know what you expect me to say.
Well, table talk it, because yeah. And last, but by no means least, in the bottom left-hand corner.
I am Roz, also known as Purple Monkey Robots, also known today as Eno, the Tiefling Bard, and I used to have a goatee. But I used to wear a
That
goatee.
close.
Yes.
Yeah, but now
That's
it's big. It's a big goatee.
It expanded.
It's
Yeah.
It's a Billy Goat.
It's a
tea.
ram. Now
No.
it's not a goat. This is a ram.
Mm.
Yes. Well, this is who we are, and this is what we do, and we're gonna play some Dungeons and dragons, with the emphasis on the dungeons today, because we've already dealt with the dragons. We've checked that off our list in a previous episode where Eno and Thunuk and Drenmai went to go. They had a little tete-a-tete with Bahamut, the king of the dragons, their god. And it also appeared during that time that Eno had decided to make a little bit of a religious change and may now be a follower of Bahamut, which is, not a bad thing. Good benefits package. Good, a lot of good things happen there.
I mean, there's also like the unfortunate consequence of having a similar deity's name to Baphomet,
which could get a little confusing.
Which is a different deity.
A different deity.
Bahamut.
Whose temple we currently find ourselves in front of because...
I thought we were in front of Bishaba.
Bishaba, that's right. I'm sorry. The other... Yeah, I gotta write that down. Why did I think Baphomet? That's right, Bishaba. Never mind. Ignore the Dungeon Master.
What are the other bee gods?
There are a lot of...
There's a list of them.
There's so many.
But...
so many and all so worthless. I shouldn't say that. Sorry.
But and during that time, Hugon had... decided he was going to find out how to destroy the amulet, the bracer that had been given to him by the Red Lady, and was sent on a quest to find some kind of artifact or another that would be like the polar opposite, the inversion of what the Red Lady stood for. And so he sought out and found where a temple of Bishaba would be. Bishaba being the goddess of bad luck, of malign luck, not just bad luck, but like ill-intended luck, and chaos. Where the Red Lady is an entity of order and ostensibly good, but who knows? It's all relative. And had laid waste in Undermountain, had gained access by going through the Yawning Portal, and had laid waste to all the little, level 1, CR1 critters that lived down there in the opening levels of Undermountain and the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and found himself in the path. The team had caught up with him, and they found underneath, or down deep underground, they had found this. Turn my fan off here. They found a very large, old temple in this vast cavern, and as they had traversed this barren land underneath, they had finally reached the edge of the temple, but had also discovered that this was probably the location of some ancient forgotten battle. There's nothing around you at this moment that really comes across as being anything recent in terms of combat. But the sand that they thought they were marching through, turns out at the very end of last episode, they determined that it was in fact ash. But you find yourselves, Team X, in front of this enormous ziggurat that is almost, not quite, but almost large enough to just defy understanding that something this large could exist. It dwarfs any structure that you've ever seen, made by mortal hands, and it just there probably is, I would imagine, deep inside you, there is like this moment of awe. If you've ever seen something that is of immense proportions, if you've ever seen something like the Grand Canyon, like you see pictures of it, and it's like, or Thunuk, yeah.
Thunuk.
But
For me.
He is 10 feet tall and 6 feet wide in other dimensions as well.
It's all about your perspective.
It is, but it's like one of those things that if you've ever been to if you see like a picture of the Grand Canyon, it's like, okay, yeah, that's big. And then you go to the Grand Canyon, you're like, oh my God, it's like you have this moment of wow. But it's also not a moment of necessarily awe of it's almost an unsettling wow. Because there is an unsettling feeling about this place. I mean, you are standing in an ash field. You've been finding bones, ancient bones buried and recovered. Drenmai has a little like string of tiny dragon-like skulls she's been dragging behind her. She's been digging them up, um, and this.
I almost forgot about that. I'm super happy.
And you find yourself in front of this ziggurat that looks like it was made. The stone might be black. You're not sure. It's not obsidian. Obsidian being, that shiny, leftovers of a volcanic eruption. This looks more. If you've ever seen like black granite, but like even deeper than that. So it's a very dark colored stone that you're seeing in front of you. And the bricks themselves, these enormous bricks that make up this ziggurat, each one in of itself looks like it might be the size of a noble's like hunting lodge. They're enormously. There's nothing small about any of the proportions, about any of the construction materials that you're seeing here on this ziggurat that leads up. And
Cyclopean would be a good word for it.
Cyclopean. I'll have to look that up, but it might be. I'm going to write that down so I can look that up later because I like learning new words. Cyclopean.
Cyclopean.
Oh, okay. I do know that. Yes. Yes, I would say that would be a good thing. A good, something large might have built this. Maybe it was built. You're not sure how this thing was built, but it goes up and you can see that it kind of flattens off at the top, but you can't see if there's anything above that because it's just too high up. And you've been walking down this depression where this ziggurat is settled in the middle of this vast chamber. And even here in the middle, you can no longer see any of the outer walls of this chamber. You can see you can see some pillars that are disappearing into the darkness, and you can still see little shafts of light from whatever light source. Maybe that's the surface and some light is actually able to get down and filter down. But you can no longer see any of the outer walls of this cavern. So you have really no sense of exactly how big this cavern may be. But as you find yourself in front of this ziggurat, you do see that there is an entrance of immense proportions, much like everything else. It looks like a double door that is easily 60 feet high. I'm
going to assume it's closed.
It is closed at this moment, yes. But that is where you find yourself in this moment. You find yourself in what appears to be, for all intents and purposes, it appears to be it might be the, with a capital T, the Temple of Bishaba. You do see that above the it's the stone that goes across the top of a door, and it actually has a name, and I forget what it is, but it's lintel. Thank you. You do see carved into that. It looks to be a stag's skull with the horns, these intertwined horns coming out from the top of this stag's skull. Carved into the lintel of this door.
Wait, is it an arch?
No, it's a door, right angles.
Post and lintel.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
I'm
yeah,
it's either lintel or keystone depending on shape.
Yeah, and it you can see it. It matches, or it bears very much. It bears a similarity to the symbol on the door that got you into the cavern. So you're relatively certain that this is probably the Temple of Bishaba. And that is where you currently find yourself in this moment.
So wait, how close are we? Like right there now? Did we?
Yeah. You are in front of the door. So at this point, you could go in. You don't see anything. There's nothing stopping you. And yes.
Is my comprehend language ritual still active? Or
I will.
Is it, I will. Been long enough
no, I will allow for it to have continued going because you didn't know how long of a walk it was going to be. So we can say that during the course of your journey here, which took much longer than you thought it was going to take,
I did it again.
I would say that maybe there was a case. Maybe there was like a a litany or something you could have done along the way, like a walking meditation that would have preserved.
Okay.
Or you know what it could have been? It could have been that you completed everything but the very last little bit of the ritual, and you held that nugget in your mind. Like like you drew a bow and you've been holding it ready to go. So now that you're here, you can release that, and the final piece falls in, and the ritual finishes, and you're able, and you feel this comprehension settle into your mind that you would be able to read and comprehend languages should you encounter any.
And do I see anything written anywhere, like carved into any of the stones that I might recognize with this ability running?
Give me. Well, first let's do this. Let's do a
Perception.
Investigation, because I think you'd actively be looking for it.
All right. Oh, they're supposed +3 anyway. Oh, all right. That's a total of 14, 15, 16, 17.
That's how math works.
15, 16, 17.
17. Cool. Yeah, that's enough. So as you get closer to the temple, you do feel, all of you feel kind of like there is an unease that sits in your gut. If you remember, like, that feeling when you were a kid and you think you were walking into a haunted place, it was just kind of like you had a general...
Can I roll for ignorance?
Sure, roll for ignorance. Why not?
It's like making a sanity check. I would like to disbelieve. I would like to disbelieve.
My argument would be, is Jen's way more fascinated that she wants to touch the rocks. I rolled a 17 on the 20. I don't know what you want me to add to it.
And so
roll for ignorance. It's a new one.
I think that would actually be like I mean, there's no negative effects from the feeling, but I would say
the opposite of insight.
No, I'd say that'd be more of a wisdom check, because I would say that it's
that's great, -1, because I don't have wisdom, so more ignorance the better.
I would say that it's either. You're probably it's probably at two extremes, where either you're so ignorant that you don't have that feeling, or that you're so enlightened to the fact that you're not afraid. Right? There's that.
It's more of like Dren has that extreme ADD kind of thing going on.
Well, we've also established that Dren is very curious about the essentially Dren is Entrapta. From She-Ra, and that she pretty much, it doesn't matter, like, hey, there's this monster, ooh, data,
Yeah, it's there's something I care more about that is over there, and whatever else is going on.
So yeah, I would say that, I mean, you're aware of the unease, and the unease isn't affecting anyone negatively. It's more just you have that feeling of walking into a haunted house. But you do see on the stones, as high up as you can see, and as I mentioned, these stones are 2-3 stories high each, but you see that there's carvings in the stones, and that these carvings are in different handwriting. It's not all the same handwriting, and it's in different languages. And sometimes you're finding yourself whispering to yourself, because we've said that in order for this spell to work, you would have to like speak the language. I think it would have to be like you could read it out loud, but as you're looking at all of the different carvings, you can see that there's carvings of requested ill intent. So much like if you were trying to so let's say you had gone to the Temple of Bahamut, and you might be wishing that Bahamut might intercede on behalf of a friend who is sick. And you might say, well, I'm going to go to Bahamut's temple, so I'll write down on a piece of paper, Bahamut, King of Dragons, the great platinum god, please intercede and see my friend to good health. You might write that down on a piece of paper and leave it on an altar, whatever the case may be. This seems to be the opposite. This seems to be, I hope this person falls off of a building. I hope this person loses all their money. I hope this person's dick rots off. I hope this, you can see this is like
a specific, but yeah.
But it seems like this might be a place where people have come on some kind of malign pilgrimage when they've wished for bad things to happen to someone for any number of reasons. And you can see they've been for it seems like as benign as a broken heart, and as I don't want to say advanced, but on the other end of the spectrum of where someone has been done wrong and they've lost all hope against anything else, and they've come to Beshaba for them to intercede to hope this bad thing happens to their enemies. And like everything in between. And you can see it's written in all different languages. You see some Draconic. You see it in various languages from across the sea, some from possibly different planes, because I don't think it identifies what the language is. It just allows you to read the language. But you see it's just, and as you look, you can see, and it's only about as far up as people could possibly reach. So maybe you had some giants in here at some point. Maybe they could definitely fit. But you could see as far in both directions that it looks like this might be a thing that people would do, is that they would come in and carve graffiti into the wall, into the outer wall of this, that they hope that something bad would happen to somebody.
So I have to be touching the surface of that.
Okay.
So, but you see, walk up, like kind of point out the things that are written in, and I walk up to the wall and I kind of put my hands on the wall, and I'm like reading all these things, and I start reading them out loud. So you hear all the different things, all the different bad thoughts that people are writing, like, I hope this person dies because they suck, all this stuff. So yeah, I read all that stuff out loud for
And
like 5 minutes.
Give me a quick perception check.
Oh, that one's not good. That's an 8.
You do the stone is cold.
Okay.
When your hand is on it, you do feel that the stone does feel almost icy. Not slick. There's no rime.
Yeah.
There's no moist, but you do feel a chill to it. That, I mean, when you're this far underground, it is cooler. You are in a cooler locale. There is no sunlight down here, but it almost seems like colder than it should be. And you could probably, it's probably not a far leap in logic to say, well, we're in a bad place. Yeah, there's no warmth.
So it's a cold stone. Do they have Chunky Monkey?
No.
Okay.
No. But they do have they do have Netflix and chill.
The flavors they have are hatred and despair, and
Which
there
is they have the Pepto-Bismol flavor. They've got the NyQuil flavor, the green NyQuil.
They have hangover mouth.
I don't want any of
Fun
that.
fact.
Taxi
Random
cab.
offshoot. There is this one place in the northern corner of Nevada, and it's a little town called Elko. There's an ice cream shop. It's actually right next to a teriyaki shop. And the ice cream shop sells nothing but abnormal ice cream.
Oh god.
Broccoli, teriyaki, salmon, pretty much any bullshit, terrible flavor you can think of.
I
and
could
that's
get
what that
down on
ice
some
creams
salmon
are.
ice cream, not
So-
broccoli.
Yeah, that's the flavors that are available to you here at the
Consider it-
at the
Consider
Beshaba
it
Mall
Elko.
at
Elko is
the
hell.
Beshaba Mall Cold Stone.
Hugon stretches and like yawns and says, "All right, well, this is fairly evident that the individuals in this place are probably not going to be nice. So far, we haven't had any issues. So I guess this would be sort of the point of no return."
What is
going
everyone's passive perception, by the way?
I don't even know how you calculate that. It's
That
what?
would be your wisdom plus.
Mine's 9.
It's 13. It's on
wait,
D&D
perception?
Beyond right below your attributes, your strength
it-
dex.
Yes.
It's in that
Is it a
second
10
box.
plus a number?
It's your passive wisdom, so 9.
Passive perception is your perception bonus plus 10.
Okay, so 13.
13.
14.
Yeah, 13.
I love that Dren is a 9. It just.
Like I said,
It's perfect.
She only cares about what she focuses on.
I would say that Hugon, you probably have noticed that there are no recent footprints near this place. I would think that would be something that Hugon would probably be aware of. And I would say Thunuk too, because I think Thunuk has a general tracking sense just from having grown up in the woods. You know, I would say that both of you would probably notice that there's no recent. It does not look like there's no. It does not look like there is any recent activity around you, around this area where you find yourself.
So, I'm still going in. It's kind of on you to decide if you're all still going to follow.
Did you say that out loud?
Yeah. He was
Oh.
saying everything out loud.
I'm like touching the wall and stuff, like physically spidered onto it, kind of. Is it smooth?
It is
This matters.
okay.
While you're figuring that out, let me describe how in my mental mind, my mental eye, Drenmai does these things when she's doing them. Frequently, I see her like running up to a surface or jumping off of Thunuk and sticking, like, remember those sticky hands?
Yes.
And, like,
Mhm.
threw them at a wall, and like, that's or the frog shaped ones that sort of went down the wall. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I see her doing.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
and
much it.
because Dren is a disgusting, filthy gremlin, she probably does stick.
She well, with all the grease.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
With all the grease, it's not
Slap.
it's not a permanent.
Slap.
And
Just
then-
like
She doesn't. She can't stay there because the adhesion's not great. But it's just for a moment. So is it smooth? These they're not like preternaturally smooth. They were obviously these Colossian bricks were obviously carved in some way, shape, or form. So there's like the vaguest.
so they're carved, not polished.
Yeah, there's not. If there was a polish, it's long gone. This structure is old.
Okay. I
Uh,
probably don't stay on it very long then.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not as fun.
Yeah, it's not like window smooth. It's yeah. So like if rock is climbed a lot, if it's been worn a lot, it actually will get a polish to it. This is not so much. This has just been over the course of time. It looks like it might be a little worn. You can still see some of the vaguest of tool marks on it. But then obviously you have
I
to
do want to lick it.
All right.
Okay.
It is a T-Max game.
Give me a.
I wanna.
First thing I
I
want
just
you
want
to
to see if it's like a cool stone, because you said it was like kind of weird and stuff. So when you wet things, when you wet stones, it brings out its true colors. So I want to lick it.
And what? I don't even know what to roll for this. Oh,
I mean, you're licking a stone in a cave. It's probably got bacteria on it.
well,
Constitution.
I imagine I've licked many of things, so I've
Yeah,
got a
and
good
like
immunity
somehow it
built up.
hasn't killed you yet.
yeah, it's because she's trying to improve her
Exactly.
immune system that way.
Exactly.
I knew a dude that would.
Constitution saving throw then.
Nah, I think
Just,
it.
you lick a handrail on an escalator. Just build up that immunity.
No, that's a terrible idea, and you're a bad
Well, it could
person
be-
for saying that out
It could
loud.
be charisma saving throw because she's gonna get bad breath because of it,
That'll
something
come
like
later.
that.
I think this would need to be. God, why don't I ever anticipate this? I should anticipate this by now.
How could you? There's no way
I'm
to
Because
do
chaos
it's
that.
Dren and
characters.
she licks
I
everything.
mean, also, like, how important is it? Like, does it actually have to require a roll?
No, it
Yeah,
doesn't.
everything
You lick the
requires a roll.
stone. Okay.
I just want to see if it has any cool effects to it.
Oh, no, it does not.
No.
It is rock.
Okay.
You turn evil.
It doesn't make it like a deeper black or anything.
No, it
cool.
doesn't. Oh, no. There
Okay.
is one. Give me a give me a
Okay.
strength saving throw.
Strength save? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a good
See,
strong
you
girl.
push the DM. You push the DM, and then
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm
Roll.
okay with this. Cool. Yeah. 22.
For a brief moment, your tongue actually sticks to it, like licking a flagpole in the wintertime.
Oh, so it's cold?
Yeah, it is very cold, but you are able to get your
Rip
tongue,
my
rip
tongue
your
off.
tongue off of it with only a mild loss of taste buds.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I might come back to consciousness or like I'll do that thing like "Blah," and then that's when
And it does not
Hugon's
taste
saying,
good.
You know,
It-
you
it-
can come in and be like I'll trot over and I'll knock on the door because it's closed. So I'm too small. I will knock on the door.
There is no answer. You do hear a hollowness. It sounds like you can, there's a hallway or something on the other end of it. The door itself appears to be made of stone. It looks like on the door itself there's, I guess would filigree be the right thing, of a symbology that's very similar to that you've seen so far with the antler and skull motif.
Okay. Do I see any scrape marks on the floor?
You do. You can see that the doors
Okay.
open out.
So it opens out.
Yes,
Okay.
Are they? Is it? So the doors are closed.
they are closed. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming I see like a seam or something when
Yeah.
the doors
Yeah,
connect?
they look like normal doors.
do
You
that.
can see.
Like cupped hand and put my mouth up to it and be like, "Hey,
Hey, hey, hey.
hello."
Hello, hello.
Echoes. Can I
Is
do an
there a-
investigative check to see if I have any idea how to open the door?
Sure. Do an investigation check.
23. God, I'm doing.
You're
so much
pretty
better
sure
today.
if you pull on the handle of the door will open.
That's too obvious. I don't recognize that.
Don't do it.
Wait,
Reject
how-
that possibility.
How high up is the handle from me?
I mean, it's a normal, like, there's like a handle, vertical handle that runs the length.
Oh, it's like a bar.
Yeah, that runs. So you would, it almost like a refrigerator door, like with the
Too
rail.
obvious for me. I still wouldn't do it.
Seems like a trap. It's a trap.
Seems like a trap. It's a trap. If it's too obvious, to me, it's a
Hugon
trap.
has become tired of this and is opening the door.
That's what I figured.
So you let me see here. Where is everyone standing as he does this? Just out of curiosity.
See, I was gonna do an arcane
I'm getting pinched in the door.
but no.
I mean, well, blame clues for annoying Hugon.
Wow.
So you got Hugon and Dren right in front of the door. Where are Hugon and Thunic?
I mean, where?
You said my name
Hugon,
twice.
sorry,
That's
Eno.
okay.
Eno.
We
and
know
Thunic.
what he's talking about.
Okay.
I'm still touching the wall,
Okay.
and like I've stopped like reading everything out loud, but I'm still like reading all this stuff.
Okay. And Thunic, where are you?
Thunic has been taking in the fact that this entire wall has stuff written on it when Eno started reading it. So he's stepped back a bit and he's looking at like why would you looking at all this stuff like musing to himself like why would you wish all these bad things upon people? All you gotta do is just talk to people and let them know how you feel. And
Is he saying this out loud?
yeah, a little bit like under his breath.
And, well, under his breath is like a stage whisper in
That's stage whisper.
Yeah.
the Globe Theater.
Um,
Hugon kind of like looks back over his shoulder and goes, "Some people reject the notion that all situations can be resolved peaceably."
Hugon and Dren, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Okay.
You opened the door too hard. I gotta find my d20. Wow.
13.
19.
Okay. Hugon, as you go to open the door, you pull on it, and instead of opening on a hinge, it just starts to fall down. And so you and Dren are able to quickly get out of the way. As
Oh
this
yeah,
thing just,
he'll be like, "Oh, this is genius," and shuffles out of the way.
doom, and it falls. The fall is a bit muffled because it's falling into this this field of deep packed ash, so it does muffle it and everything. But there's that concussive force you feel in your sternum as this thing hits the ground, and all of you feel that. But
You broke it.
Oh, what a misfortune!
and
Are there actual hinges that we can see, by the way?
yes,
Okay. Thunic is staring at Hugo like, wow, I didn't realize he was this strong, sir. Like, he's a little bit astonished.
I mean, how thick is this door? Because 20-foot tall slab of stone at almost any thickness is going to be very heavy.
it's a good 10 inches
It's actually
thick.
fake stone. It's that like that shitty plastic molding.
It's styrofoam.
Yeah.
It's just Luon with foam core. No, it's a good like 10 inches thick of stone.
Jesus Christ.
That is a heavy goddamn door.
That's
Yeah.
a heavy fucking door.
That's like 3 or 4 tons of door.
more.
That did not fall on you.
How tall is it?
It was
20 foot tall.
it was a good, yeah.
Yeah, more. I was thinking like a door that was like person sized. No, this is like giant sized door.
Yeah, tons is yeah.
Yeah. Hugon thinks this is hilarious. Like the irony of it.
but the
is
door-
pretty funny to him.
The door is open. You can see inside.
This isn't like a.
Well, it looks like
Door
it
thing.
should have been a double door that opened, but the one that Hugon pulled on, that side just fell down. Hinges are still there in the.
And the
in-
other side fell down as well, or it's still
No,
there?
just the one that Hugon pulled on.
Okay.
Yeah, that side is still there. But you can see in. It's a good 10 feet wide, so it's not like, oh, I can't see. And inside you can see it looks to be there's like the smallest of alcoves, 10 feet, and then it opens up into a larger room. You can't quite see what's in that room, but you can see it does open up into a larger room.
John doesn't trust you on anymore.
Then it goes and tests the other door. It's like very
Oh,
gently
God.
pulls on it.
Okay.
I'll stay away from that. I don't trust that either. Things are falling on me, and they're very large.
So Thonic, you go in, the other door just seems to be a door.
Okay, so it actually swings on its hinges.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It looks
I
again
mean-
at Hugo like,
This- Yeah.
what did he get this strong? Sort of like reevaluating the situation here.
Like takes a look at the party and goes, "Remember, bad luck is very strong here."
Oh.
So be very careful if you touch anything.
Eno mumbles under his breath. Maybe I picked a bad time to stop worshiping Timora.
Or maybe the best time. Because Timora and Beshaba are mortal enemies.
So yes, you find that the door is open. You find that you can enter. It looks like you can enter freely into the.
Is there more ash inside?
No, now you've gotten into inside. I mean, there's a little bit like on as you first, or would if you were to first look into this or enter this hallway, you can see that there is some of this sandy ash that has been, it looks tracked in maybe through the door, just from an open door. But once you get in, you can see it as a stone floor. With it looks like tightly fit flagstones make up the floor here.
Does the writing continue?
The writing does not continue that you can see. It looks like the writing is pretty much limited to the outside of it.
How brightly lit is it? A hallway we're looking at?
It's
how
like about
brightly
10.
lit?
It goes about like maybe 10 feet in, and then it opens up into a larger room.
And are there lights and all, or?
There is a dim glow that looks to be coming from phosphorescent lichen. That gives it a kind of a yellowish, purplish hue an odd mix of the two colors.
So we're looking at dim light
Mm-hmm.
for pretty much the whole way is pretty much dim light.
Mm-hmm. Yes. This light was not at the top of its class.
This, on a scale of lights, it is like it failed light middle school,
Mhm. It's wearing a pointy hat.
and like this was this was before like
This light
you
was left
couldn't be
behind.
expelled for failure.
This light was in fact left behind.
It's not enlightened.
No, it is not.
I hate all this.
Is it not bright enough for us to see very well?
No, you can see. I mean, you'd be able to walk around. You feel
Okay.
with
Yeah.
you know.
If it's dim,
would you want to go running through here? Probably not. But you could
No.
make your way through and see what's going on. And
dim light is usually enough to like see the ground and
mm-hmm.
Oh, it's the classification, just not a description.
Mm-hmm.
Not just a description.
Well, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
After Hugon said to be careful of everything in here, Thunuk, and what we should not be touching anything. Thunuk actually does not observe one of those cautionary advisements, and let me actually verify that I actually have to do that. No, you don't have to actually. I don't have to touch anyone. I bless everyone in the party. Very, by touching them.
Just
Okay.
like a little
All right.
boop.
A little boop. Yeah.
A little boop.
Give everyone a little boop, and a little D4 to their rolls later.
oh.
Is it like a permanent
Nice.
effect? Is it like a time limited
It
effect?
is up to 1 minute, or as long as I concentrate on it.
Okay, so as long as you don't cast another concentration spell.
Correct.
Okay. Interesting.
So, gonna concentrate on some blessings for folks.
So you're not going to set it and forget it. You're going to...
Look, if I could set it and forget it, there'd be wait. Here's some more, but
Yeah.
no.
Here's some more spells. But okay, so everyone will have a D4, 1D4 addition onto... is it any roll or just... Is it saving throws?
Attack or saving throws.
Okay, attack
That's a
or
pretty
saving
sweet
throws.
spell. I like
Yeah.
that they made bless useful
Okay.
because it
Was
didn't
not
used to
useful in
be.
the past?
It used to be 1.
Attack
Okay.
or save.
Have a +1.
Okay.
I could see situations where that'd be helpful, but that's not as great.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not even close to as great. That's why it was a first level spell.
do you all enter this
Oh yes.
well, we know Hugon was marching in. Okay. So you all go in and you enter into this first room and it excuse me. It's some kind of welcoming chamber, maybe. And it is about 30 feet long, 30 feet wide, and you can see all along the corners and along the edges of the room and little alcoves where you can see there's this lichen is kind of clinging there. It looks like it might have grown. Thunuk, you think it might have grown there naturally. It doesn't look like it was placed there with any kind of intent, just based on the growth patterns. But you do see that there are coins, and it looks like chalices and jewelry scattered throughout the edges of this room in some pretty hefty piles. And then in front of you, you see on the far wall, the opposite wall from when you came in, you see there are 2 doors that both lead down hallways, and you can see that these hallways are dimly lit with this lichen, but you cannot see the far end. So you figure they probably go down 50, 60, 70 feet. You're not sure, a little bit beyond the edge of your sight. But that is the room, and then the room is not terribly tall. It is only about 30 feet tall or so, because you're getting deeper into this ziggurat, but there are still some height limitations because you're still like in the early stages of the ziggurat. But yeah, so you find yourself in this room with all of these coins and various jewelry and gems and trappings of wealth.
Dren starts not obviously, but very obviously going towards shiny things.
Hugon, for his part, does nothing to stop her.
Is it like the Bugs Bunny thing when Bugs Bunny's hungry and like the smell, like the animation of the smell has got him by the nose and like, come here, and he's just floating along. He's just
I have already mentioned that this is a dangerous place, and if people don't want to take that under the advisement, that is their business.
Mm-hmm.
Hugon will continue to proceed inward.
Yeah, I don't know if Dren would have been paying attention.
Probably not, but that's
You
fair.
dropped a door on her, so.
Not on her. She lived.
Near her, adjacent to her. So Drenmai, you go tottering off towards the shinies, and you find that there are collections of various coinages, gems, jewelry, things that have been crafted, chalices, many things like this. All forms of, again, trappings of wealth. No weapons that you're seeing. It just seems to be all things that are just shiny bits, symbols of wealth in one shape or another.
I like shiny bits.
Mm-hmm.
Fate die. Chaos character. Okay. I want to touch.
Are you grabbing for? Are you just blindly?
I want to grab. No, I want to go for like. I like gems more than coins, so I'd probably go for whatever kind of gems are around there.
You find within reach, because that is one of the limitations we have with being a gnome. You find.
I'm small.
You are a small, but you do find within reach, within one of these piles, opal. They're the blue ones, right? No, sapphire. That's what I'm thinking of.
Opal is the ones, that are white and they shimmer.
Yeah, actually, I think you'd find an opal that's about the size of your fist.
That's a good opal.
Yeah. You do find that there is a you find an opal about the size of a gnome fist. I don't know how many carats that would be, but
the size of a small boy's head.
Yeah.
The size of an infant's head. No, that would be a Thunic sized fist.
I don't know if any of you watched The Mighty Boosh, but comparing a enormous sapphire to an ordinary reference pineapple.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, this would be more. I'm trying to think how big would so not quite the size of a kiwi, probably a little bit smaller than that because Drenmai has smaller hands, but this is let's face it, it is not a small, tiny, like,
No,
I got it
opals
on.
Don't come large normally.
Yeah. So yeah, you do find that amongst other things, but you do find the shiny, sparkly opal.
I would love to add an opal to my collection. I grab it. Go to grab it.
You grab it, and nothing happens that you can tell.
I pocket it.
Okay.
I am pleased. I continue on.
All right.
Do I see her do that?
Oh, she was not sneaky
Okay.
at all.
I'm not trying to hide this. I'm not doing
Alright.
a snack. I am very obviously.
Dren gets advantage on attacks against subtlety.
I don't think that's a good idea. Things in here are bad luck.
Pull it out. Look at it.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
Tap on it.
Hugon said we should touch stuff, but
take
bad idea.
anything.
Hugon tried to drop a door on me.
You are inferring a great deal.
You left the room.
This room is quite large, and I am walking.
Okay.
And it's echoey too, so anything that you're saying is
And
probably
also, you're
echoing
loud
across,
as
right?
fuck.
Yeah.
That's probably true.
Try to drop a door on me. Hey!
It's got a good reverb in here.
No, that was just a happy accident. Is what Hugon says in return.
In his defense, this has happened to me frequently. So that can happen by accident. You know, when
He's
you
dropped doors
open
on
the
you?
door. No, I've accidentally opened doors too hard, and they're not doors anymore.
That's more of an opening. Yeah.
Thunic notice is actually a little bit like, hey, this is an interesting little lichen that lives in a dark hole in the middle of nowhere. I'm going to strike up this conversation.
Yes.
Are you going to subscribe too?
Moss talk?
Perhaps.
Okay.
Depends on what their newsletter's all about.
Follow, like, and subscribe.
Oh God.
Um,
No. Jail.
Oh.
He just feels the need to speak with it because it's like, what is this doing in this benighted shithole? Much like the moss that we met underneath Pinedale, which just did not belong in those catacombs. What is this lichen doing here? And he starts talking. He's like, "Hi, how are you doing? What, is this a place you like to live? Is this a good place for you? Is this a dangerous place? How did you get here?"
Is this where it's able to talk back to you, or is this where you're just doing?
Speech of Beast and Leaf allows me to speak to them. They understand me, but I must interpret their responses based upon whatever way of responding they have. And it's just lichen, so I don't know how it responds. It's up to you.
In spores, it just expels like hormones.
Yeah, its response is basically,
It's glowing lichen. Maybe it glows a little bit differently. Maybe it glows, and
Colorful.
Yeah, and for all we know, this is just like a cyclical glow that it does anyway. It's just Thunic's like, it's responding to me.
See, you need a fate die too.
Oh, I've got my fate coin. I think it would be a case of the first thing it does is the glow changes a little bit to form.
The lichen is confused. Something's talking to me.
It would form like a profane symbol that would be like the equivalent of flipping you off, and then you just get a mouthful of spore, like a dry.
You have been
just
running into some rude plants lately.
It farts in your general direction.
Pretty much. There's a sulfuriness to it.
Ugh. This moss farts.
Yeah, that lichen.
I apologize. Excuse me. And he walks away from the lichen.
So you find in front of yourself, in addition to all the other things I've described, like I said, these two doors, one to the right, one to the left, both have hallways leading off of them, deeper into the ziggurat.
Is there any indication as to the purpose of these doors, or what lies beyond them?
No, they're open. I'd say door. It's an archway. It's
Okay.
or excuse me, not an archway. It's the same post and lintel construction, because you want to have some symmetry when you're building these things. But it's just like an open. I'm going to say there's two exits out of this room that lead. There's one on the right, one on the left. They both seem identical, both leading deeper into the dungeon, into the ziggurat, which is a dungeon by the technical standards.
I'd like to look at the ground to see if there is any wear in the, like, is there like a path that's been worn?
That would be
that goes more in one direction than another, or
investigation.
All right. +4, right?
Yes.
+4.
D4.
Plus and plus a D4.
Right, D4.
Okay.
Plus a D4, yeah.
All right, so that still sucks, but it's a 10.
You're not really able to discern one difference between the two.
Okay. But do I see that there's, like, does it look like there's been people?
I mean, yeah, vaguely.
Walking.
I mean, there is that vague where
Sort of
on
discoloration.
yeah, exactly. Maybe it might be the smallest of concaveness to it, just from however many centuries, millennia. You're not sure of people having walked this path, but it doesn't. There's not. It's not. It does not look like there's been a lot of people. And you can't really tell a difference if there's like one that's more worn than the other.
So so I say out loud, I was just trying to see if maybe we could tell which path's been used more, but can't quite discern. It looks like there's some wear on the ground, though.
Could I do an Arcana check and see if maybe there might be some magical pull in one direction or the other?
Sure.
16?
You don't really feel a difference one way or the other. You're just feeling an overall malaise to the place.
Okay.
I mean, you're aware of. I mean, I guess maybe with specifically tuning into your arcane senses, you become a little bit more aware of the malign intent of this place.
Yeah.
And you can also feel that the magic here has a chaos to it. There is no order to this magic. You know, even in, or I'll say there's even less order to the magic, because like even in a place in a wild place like a forest, there's a certain order to the magic. Even though even though nature is a chaotic place, there's an order there. There's an organization. There's a purpose. This is less than that. There is if there is an order, you can't discern it, and it's probably as close to pure chaos as you've ever been able to encounter.
I'm subtly pleased.
Oh, and I did that wrong. Bless only affects attack rolls and saving throws, so it was actually an 8.
Oh.
But
Same result. Same result. You just you know less.
it doesn't affect regular skill checks.
Man, if clerics could also get bardic inspiration, that would be wild.
There is a type of cleric that does that. Also, bad news about Bless.
What?
It only lasts up to a minute.
Okay.
And I basically have to. I misread that. It's not concentrate or up to a minute.
It's concentrate for up to a
you
minute.
You concentrate for a minute and it lasts during that minute.
Okay.
Then you have to recast it.
Right.
Quick, everyone, run!
So, I hope you enjoyed your blessing.
It actually fits in well with the motif of this place, so okay.
I guess I'll just wait for Hugon, since this is kind of his thing. I'm just...
Hugon pulls out a gold coin.
Mm-hmm.
And just speaks to the air. I'm letting you decide. And then he flips it.
Are you doing like a heads you go this way, tails you go that way?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, when you said 2 doors, I was thinking like the 2 doors that we just came through.
No. There's a right door. That's there. Yes, I should have described that a little bit better.
I was thinking the tutors, like the English.
We're going right.
Going to the right.
Well, I'm going right, and what the party does is sort of
Okay.
their prerogative.
So Hugon goes marching down the hallway.
Mhm.
I'm assuming the rest of you follow him down. Are we in like the
Yeah.
normal configuration? Dren riding on Thunuk?
Actually, since I'm trying to... Hugon's being weird.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be walking, and I'm going to be fairly close on his heels.
Okay.
Oh, all right. So it's Hugon, Dren. Is Thunuk going to be in the rear?
It depends. Yeah, he's basically just paying attention to. It depends. Is Eno really just like, all right, we're leaving. I guess we're leaving, and he immediately goes, or because he might linger behind if others are lingering behind, because he's concerned about leaving people behind.
He's got that shepherd mentality.
Yeah.
I probably would see that Dren is hot on Hugon's boots, and I would probably follow her. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So you all come walking down this hallway, and with it being dimly lit and all that, you're seeing there's something off about the hallway. You're not sure if just the angles aren't necessarily like right at 90 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something off about the geometry of this place. So it becomes a little difficult to determine exactly how long you've been walking down this hallway. It might have only been a minute. It might have been several minutes. It's kind of, you're finding yourself just a little discombobulated. But you come to a door, again, the same post and lintel construction, handle, single door, but there's a handle on the door and closed in front of you. A smaller version of the one, slightly smaller, not terribly smaller than the one out front. One that easily a giant could walk through if need be. But you find yourself coming to this door. Same motif carved into the door with the symbols of Beshaba.
And is this one also closed?
It is closed. This one is closed. Yes.
Thunuk, you want to try this door for me?
I thought we weren't supposed to touch stuff.
Oh, we have to keep moving forward, don't we?
That's a good point. I guess I will help you with this door.
Okay, and then Hugon stands farther away from the door than its height, just in case.
I will also be behind Hugon in case it falls on Hugon, and then I can kind of shove him and it takes him and not me.
Take him! Oh, great and powerful door, accept it.
Oh, god damn it, now I want to invent a cult around doors.
the cult of doors.
The cult of doors. I mean, it has a ring to it. You can't deny it.
They all just go to Lowe's.
Nice.
The
quality on Home Depot is better, thank you.
Well, I don't think anybody was denying that.
Thunuk, Thunuk, you go to open the door?
Before that happens, let's see if actually something. Yeah, why not?
Okay.
I go to open the door. I look back and he's stepped back quite a distance. Very gently open this door.
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Of course. Oh, that could have been almost bad. So 17. I rolled a 19. It actually sat on a 1 and bounced in place with it.
Okay.
More is
That's
the pity.
a little concerning.
So as you go to open this, I would imagine that Thunuk is probably thinking, man, this is going to be a tough door to open, because you saw how Hugon was able to rip the other door off the hinges. And you know that, you're a pretty strong guy. So
Thunuk starts questioning his strength.
So you go to open this door, and have you ever done the thing where you thought you were about to pick up something very heavy, and it turns out it was incredibly light?
Yes, but keep in mind, I said he's being very gentle.
Yes, but even as he very gently goes to pull this door, it flies open, and you just barely were able to step out of the way as it slams against the wall. And had you not been able to get out of the way, you're pretty sure this thing would have bashed you into the wall. It just would have Wile E. Coyote'd you right in there. But you were able to step out of the way. And now...
as he steps out of the way, he's like...
And doors open, there's a as it hits the wall, and you can see in front of you now another 30-foot by 30-foot room in front of you. And in the very middle of the room is it looks to be a small metal chest, iron bound chest in the middle of the room. but it doesn't appear to be anything else in there. Doors open. You have a 30 by 30 foot room in front of you now.
So I can. So I've got dark vision,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the way it works is if it's dim light, I can see as if it was like
Yeah.
bright light or regular light.
Yeah, and in no light you can see everything in black and white.
Yeah. So am I seeing anything just straight up with that extra light? I don't know if my colleagues have dark vision. I forget.
I do.
Okay.
He does with his mask on.
With his mask on.
I don't think Dren does,
She does.
unless you
No.
have.
What do
like-
I have?
Dark,
Dark
vision.
vision?
I thought I do. You didn't know.
I don't
Fine.
think.
Wait, where?
I know a lot of the demi races.
I
Dark
know
vision.
some gnomes get it, but like there's
Yes,
like
Smurf Neblins
I mean, I'm
might
a
have
rock
it.
gnome, so
Rock
I think-
gnome.
I think that I do.
Rock gnome.
Where is that?
Cleveland?
It's under features and traits.
Well, I will say this for you while that's
Okay.
being looked up. You're not, you don't really see anything
I-
with your enhanced, with your dark vision, your infravision. You're not
No.
able. You are able to. You. I mean, yeah, it looks like normally lit for you, and no, it doesn't appear to be
Okay.
anything. You're not seeing anything untoward. You just see this empty room, and it is, yeah, it just this one chest in the middle of this room, and then across the other side, this room appears to be almost a duplicate of the one you just came out of, where on the opposite wall, again, two different entrances or exits, one on the right, one on the left. Same thing where you can't quite see all the way down, so there is a choice there, but you do see this this chest in front of you.
I'm going to I'm gonna do I'm gonna do an investigation on the chests.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking to see if I can tell like what is there a lock? What does it look like? Does it do I recognize any kind of potential for shenanigans if this chest if somebody attempts to open this chest?
Mm-hmm.
And even on the approach, like not even getting near the chest,
Mm-hmm.
do I see any pressure plates on the ground? Like how we're 30 feet away from the chest now, you said, right? Or-
Well, you'd be about 15. If it's a 30 by 30, you're
Hmm.
about 15 feet away from the chest. Yeah.
right. Okay, so yeah, do I see any pressure plates on the floor? And then, so I don't know if maybe that's the check, and maybe it's a different check to check the tech.
Yeah. The first
check.
check would be a perception check. You're basically doing
Okay.
a check for traps, which would be that'd be perception.
All right. Man, my wisdom sucks. It's 13.
You're pretty sure you don't see any pressure plates. You're not seeing anything around this chest. It looks like, again, these are
Right.
these enormous flagstones. So it's not like individual stones, where it's like, oh, this one stone is the pressure plate. So
I see.
Yeah. So you're not really seeing anything that really appears to be
Okay.
a pressure plate. And so your next one is trying to figure out, like, is there a locking mechanism on this?
So I take a step towards the chest. I take
Mhm.
a couple steps towards the chest. I go up to within 5 feet of,
Okay.
of the chest.
Okay.
And I'm going to try and look and see if I can determine, what does the locking mechanism look like, and is there any distinctive feature of that could be trapped,
Okay.
physically trapped?
That would be another perception
That's
check.
perception. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! All right, yeah, that sucks. I rolled a 2.
Oh, Jesus.
Advantage. Spend charges, take advantage. Would you have charges left?
He's got a bunch.
I've got my bardic inspiration, but that only gives me a D8. Even with a D8, 2 plus 3. I mean, the max I'm gonna get. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with the 5.
Oh, no, but your charges.
What?
Your charges.
What charge? Oh, a charge. Oh,
5.
how many charges do I have? I have 5. I forgot about that.
Eno has 5 charges, so you could
I have
spend
fi-
2 to get
All right,
advantage.
I'm gonna spend A 2 charges.
You're going to spend
A
2
two?
charges. That'll bring you down to
Isn't that
3.
Ooh.
a charge?
I mean, you can only do
Hey!
one worse than 2.
I rolled a 19 that time.
Hey,
So
that's
that's
much
22.
better.
Opposite bands.
That is a
22.
much better
Yeah.
number. All right. So, as you're within 5 feet of it, so it appears to be a steel or some other kind of steel alloy constructed chest with iron bands holding everything together, bolts very tightly fit together, and it looks like the locking mechanism is. There's no keyhole on it. It's just if you've ever seen the clasp where you basically have to turn it and it would spring open. That looks to be what it would be. That you would like just turn this clasp, and you could open this pretty simply, without actually laying hands on it. From now, I mean that you're not sure if it would be trapped. You would have to like probably get even closer to it. But from at this distance and at from your vantage point, you're relatively certain you don't see any trapping mechanisms. It doesn't appear that there would be any way for like if you were to turn it or touch the latch for there to be like any kind of like hidden needle or dart to shoot out. You're not seeing any kind of panels on the front that could potentially reveal it doesn't look like there's anything secreted away in the exterior that would act as a trap of any kind. But that's at this point from 5 feet away, that's probably the best you'd be able to do. But you're relatively certain that there would be no threat from just turning it and opening it.
So Eno says, "Spring-loaded crap." He's outside, out loud. He's like, "Spring-loaded clasp. No discernible egress ports for darts. Steel. Pop up. Dren, are you getting anything? Anything from this magic wise?"
Like a jack. I'd be 19.
You do
Arcana?
not pick up anything arcane or magical about this.
I'll be like, no.
It's mundane as best you can tell.
And I'll probably be doing that splat thing on it at this point. Like, no, I don't feel anything. I lick it. No, I'm kidding.
It's an oft ignored sense.
Is there a lock of any sense?
Just that.
No, there's.
Yeah, just the spring-loaded one that Eno had described.
Yeah, so Eno would say, "No, there's no lock. You just turn this clasp and it's spring-loaded."
Oh, you turn it? Turns.
Oh God, she turns it.
I mean,
The top, you do that, and the top, lightning fast, it springs open,
And Satan comes out.
and
yay!
this
What up, Luke?
butt-ass naked gnome launches himself out of it, runs up to Eno, punches you in the balls, and then takes off for a corner of the room and like disappears into some hidden thing there. And you take 2 points of bludgeoning damage to the crotchal region.
This seems less bad luck, like malicious luck, and more like horrible shenanigans, like bad pranks, from bad people.
Hellish rebuke.
Oh, interesting. I've been assaulted. Woomph.
Yeah. So let's see. Hellish
Die.
rebuke. Let's see.
Maybe it was the gnome's bad luck that he got locked in there.
3d10 fire damage.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Do I recognize him? Dad?
It is not your dad, but it would be funny if it was just like, Dad? Uncle Stan?
It's your cousin Carl. He's been in there for decades. You locked him in.
Yeah,
and
you know,
forgot.
Carl disappeared one day. And I was like, wow.
up and vanished.
Do I remember being here before?
He needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh God. Okay.
We hear him go woo 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 woo, woo, and then agony of flames.
It's DC 16.
Oh my God. He just goes, "Ew!" And okay, so if he does it, is it that he takes half damage or?
He made the save.
Yeah, he did make the save.
He takes 10 fire damage.
He is. There is now a gnome-sized pile of ash.
Just like, fuck you.
Oh,
It's probably even like a reflex, right? He's like, oh,
oh
Yeah,
you got. Oh, Jesus. He guffaws with laughter. Like, this is the funniest shit he's seen in a minute. First the door, the moss, then this. Like, this is like Christmas. This is just great. Hey, nice job. You killed him.
And Eno's like, yeah.
But I would say that maybe with the laughter, the mask itself almost feels like it, not that it detaches, but it loosens a little bit when you laugh. Just a little bit. Just a bit. But okay, so now there is a no.
So interesting. Schadenfreude
But
pleases the mask. Interesting.
So there's a pile now of ash that was a gnome.
I can appreciate an overwhelming response of force to something minor. So nice job,
But now you have an open yet empty chest in front of you, and you have two exits from this room, one to the right, one to the left.
I poke the pile of ashes with my stick. Like, this can't be real. This is all too bizarre. This can't be real.
It's just a pile of ash now.
And was the gnome small enough to fit in this box?
It would have been a tight fit, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was not like roomy. It was like New York apartment sized. There was room for him, and that's about it.
So to clarify, the gnome was the only thing in that chest. There
Yes,
was
the
nothing
gnome.
of value
If you
in
look
it.
in there, and that was the only thing that was in there.
Thunuk looks over at Hugon. Why are we here again?
Other than laughs at this point, we're trying to find some things out.
Okay. This is a very strange place.
It is. I kind of like it.
Okay.
I can see why Granddad was fond of it.
Okay.
So will you allow the fates to take you on your next decision
Yep.
here, to right or left?
How many doors do we have? Two?
Two doors.
Okay.
Eno casts prestidigitation
Mm-hmm.
on his groin to make it cold, cooler.
Give himself an ice pack.
pack the groin.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So he just you may see him. He's just kind of like he doesn't do it very overtly, but he's just casts
Like,
spell,
Chill,
Like-
chill those.
and then you hear him go.
so which way shall you go?
Coin says right.
All right. So you get back into your marching order and you start marching down the right hand path. And I believe this would be a good place for us to take our midpoint break. So we will come back with more malign luck, shenanigans, and dungeons, ill-spoken moss, and other such novelties in just a few minutes. So please stick around. We'll be right back. And I got to take... How do I do this? Hang on. And we're back.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. I did not see you there. But we are going to play some Dungeons and Dragons. We find Team Xenagog currently elbow deep in the Temple of Bishaba, which is the goddess of malign luck. And they have gone through a few rooms here, most recent of which got Eno punched to the dick. Let's call it what it is. And he lit the naked gnome en fuego, burned it to a crisp.
Murdered that gnome.
There is now not a gnome where there previously was a gnome. But the gnome is not Drenmai. It was a different anonymous, possibly evil. Maybe the gnome deserved it. We don't know.
Anonymous?
We'll have to do a one shot of how the gnome got into the chest. But you have once again, Hugon has chosen to allow the fates to decide which direction they would go. They have chosen the right side exit out of this room. You guys all walk down this hallway, very similar hallway to the one before, where it was very, very similar to the one before, where it was, it's difficult to tell how long you've been walking in there. There is something very non-Euclidean about this geometry, and it's making...
It's got some old one vibes.
Yeah, it's making space-time a little bit difficult to discern at certain points. But you eventually come to the end of this hallway, and you come to another door. Similar, if not identical, to the ones previous to this. Closed door.
Donug.
Yes.
And Hugon gestures to the door, if you would.
But it's not a very heavy door.
Yes, but just in case.
Are you afraid of the door?
No, it's just really funny to watch other people open them.
Oh. Okay.
Because different funny things happen.
Okay. I guess I can open the door again.
Great.
And so I walk up to the door and I take my big stick and I go poke, poke. 'Cause I'm not trusting anything now.
You poke on the door, and the floor beneath all of you just opens and dumps you all down 10 feet into a hallway that looks almost identical to the one that you were just in.
See?
And just, whoa, it's just done. The trapdoor closes right above you. You can still see down this hallway, but it is, it's still lit. But it looks like now the hallway just continues.
It's
It but the hallway looks like it continues down the same path that you were traveling before. Like you find yourself like behind you where there was hallway, you fell down this trapdoor. Now there's like no hallway there, and the hallway looks like it keeps going in the same direction. And it looks like it widens up a little bit. It's about 15 feet wide now. But you do notice that there is a slight curve to a convexness to the floor. And you do notice along each of the walls it's lined with 6-inch long spikes.
The hallway that we're in now is lined with spikes. The hallway
The walls are lined with spikes, and the floor has a convexness to it. So, yeah. Like you're on a flat portion right now, but you can see as you
So the floor bends like that.
Yeah, it bends like it's higher in the middle, and it like kind of slopes off towards the walls.
Got you.
And there's nothing written anywhere. Like I don't see anything, any signs.
You can give me
the abattoir
you,
or anything like that.
you can give me a investigation or a perception check to see if you can find if there is anything written.
They're both +3, so. Well, that's a 10 total.
You do not see any writing on the wall.
So I take out, I unsheath my rapier, and I make a little notch. Like, can I make like a little notch in the wall just to mark it?
Yeah. Yeah, like you're trying to see if you're like walking the same path or something like that.
Yeah, so I just in case, I just make a little mark. It's like just an X.
Yeah.
I make a team XX.
Makes sense. Okay, yeah, you're able to like scrape a little bit in there. I mean, it's not deep, but you're able to see.
Yeah,
that,
I'm not trying to deface the property or anything.
Or ruin the sword,
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's a magic sword, so it should be okay.
Should be all right.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's the expensive one. I take out the one that.
Take out the good one.
Exactly.
Yeah, you put a little mark in the wall there to mark your path. But yeah, you see no other way but forward.
So wait, there's no door behind us. So now there's no door.
There's no door behind you. You can see in front of you, and it looks like maybe just on the edge of your vision, probably about 50 feet or so down, you think there might be another doorway, like another post and lintel entrance. You really can't see much beyond that. It looks like the door might be open. You don't really see anything there, but it looks like it's about 50 feet or so.
And how far in between are the spikes? Like how far?
They're pretty
spaced apart.
They're pretty plinkoed in there. There's
a bunch of spikes.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of spikes.
A lot of spikes.
Yeah, it's not impossible that you could like fit a hand in between them, but this is
all right,
meant to be spiky. Spikalicious.
Are they evenly spaced?
Yes, as best you can tell. Yeah, this was made on purpose.
Thunuk pokes one with his stick.
A trapdoor opens.
And launches you into the ceiling. I mean, you poke it with a stick, and they appear to be metal.
Okay.
Yep.
Says, "All right, I see how this is gonna go. We start walking down the hall. the whole thing shakes, and we get into the spikes. That's what's gonna happen.
Like,
does anybody have anything that prevents that from happening? What's the ceiling look like? Does the ceiling have spikes?
The ceiling does not have spikes.
Okay. Hey, Dren, you remember that spell you cast on me? I think I was on the ceiling.
You want to be a speeder?
What can you do that for? Can you make us all
I don't think I can make
spiders?
everyone have spider climb. Let me look. I'm pretty sure it has to be just one. Yeah, just one. I can only do it for one person.
Okay.
So you would have to cast it a whole bunch of times to.
Let's see.
How
I
long is the
couldn't do it
hallway?
multiple times anyways.
About,
'cause this is
about 50 feet.
concentration.
50 feet.
Yes.
So we got to try and get people 50 free to cross.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I can cast Dimension Door, and I can get if I do it at the fifth level, which is I can take 2 people with me. So if Dren, if you want to spider climb, I can take Hugon and Thunuk past spikes.
I can spider climb myself.
Hugon, what do you think? Or should we just take the damage? Because I know we're gonna get jostled.
Can you take Thunuk? I thought there was a size limitation.
Or is it weight?
I think it's a.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's you can bring an object. Wait, that's objects. Hang on.
Well,
You
here's
Okay.
The ground is still made of stone.
Yeah, it looks like it's stone, yeah.
And how long is the hallway?
50 feet.
Stone shape it.
How tall is this curve?
Trying to
Your sides are smaller. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to I mean, it's not like round, right? It's more like subtle. So it's like there's a peak and it just sort of slopes off.
Excellent.
And the entire hallway is about 15 feet wide.
It's fine.
Okay.
Eno had asked if anyone had any way to do anything to alter the landscape in any way. Not literally, but that is how I interpreted it. So Thunuk says, I think I can help. He touches the ground and casts stone shape on it. Or was it shape stone? I forget what it's called now.
It's stone shape.
Stone shape. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it says stone object, medium size or smaller, or a section of stone no more than 5 feet in any dimension. So I'm assuming a cube of 5 feet by 5 feet by 5 feet.
Yeah, 5 feet in any dimension. I would say that's fair. Yeah.
So 50 feet long, 5 feet by 5 feet by 5 feet.
5 times 5 is 25. Times 5 is 100. So it would be 125 cubic feet that you can affect.
Okay, so effectively, he's just going to flatten the floor.
Okay.
Because the concern was this room goes rockety rock, and
Mhm.
because it's convex. I forget
Convex.
what you said.
Yeah.
Convex.
Concave is
Convex.
cave. You know, it's yeah.
Okay, so it's convex. The concern was that we'd lose our footing and fall over into the spikes.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to flatten the ground all the way over. So it doesn't matter if the
So
room
it's
starts
50,
shaking.
but the floor is 15 feet wide by 50 feet long.
Yes. And it's only a fraction of a foot tall in the middle, right?
Yeah, I mean it drops off by maybe by the time it gets to the wall about 6 inches.
Hold on a second.
Yeah,
I feel
because
like
it's
this
because
fraction might work.
15 feet wide times 50 feet long is 750 square feet
Yes.
times, even if you did 6 inches times, no, 0.5 is 375 cubic feet. So you wouldn't be able to shape the entire floor.
Oh, if you watch, it's 15 feet across. He doesn't have to do the entire floor. He just has to do
Just the middle.
just the middle where we walk.
1 foot times 50. Yeah, that would work. Yeah, you could do that. You can make like a 1 foot long.
I could make a 5-foot long by 50, which is 250 feet. And this is 6 inches tall.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that would
I
work.
could basically
Yep.
flatten out that entire area. All
That
the way
would
up to
work.
the door.
It absolutely would work. There we go.
Does Thunuk try and work all that out loud? Like, is he like going, well, if it's is he working?
No.
He's trying to work it. No, he
He's
says,
not even doing the math. He looks at the door at the end of the hall. He looks at where we are
all right.
and says, "Just need a flat, straight path." And he just does a straight line and goes,
Oh, he just does it. All right.
yeah.
But Thunuk, if the hallway tilts like that, we're gonna go into the spikes. It's, in other words,
Oh,
if whatever this is that's messing with us, if it turns the hallway on its side, we're in the spikes.
oh, the
Be
hall
very-
is going to move.
That's what I think may be
not
about
gonna-
to happen
like-
as soon as we
like-
start walking down
It's
this
gonna
thing.
roll. Oh,
I think the hallway is gonna start spinning around and whatnot.
So this is all before you cast the spell, or is this after you cast? the
No,
spell?
I think he already cast it. Like, I think
Okay. And
you
when you
cast
put
it,
when
right?
you put your hands on the stone, you did notice on that section of the stone that it actually is coated in a thin layer of ice.
so. All right. Well,
so it's slippery.
Yes, it's like a black ice situation.
Oh,
Where in the dim light you hadn't noticed, but as soon as you put your hands on there, you notice that this is like that bulletproof ice when it's like super super hard but very slippery.
I can't touch. I can't cast the spell then.
I would
'Cause I have
allow
to
it.
be able to touch the stone.
I think you would be able to get enough purchase. It's not thick.
No, if it's covered in ice, he can't touch. The spell specifically
yeah.
requires him to touch the stone.
Okay. Well, then that's fair. You
yeah.
as you put your hands on to do this, then you notice that there is like this thin layer of ice that you hadn't noticed before.
all right,
Dren,
so I
set the
don't
room
say
on
that
fire.
yet.
Sweet, done. Fireball.
Go.
You don't know that it's ice yet. Thunuk hasn't told you.
Hey guys, it's ice.
This isn't stone, guys. This is ice. It's
Now
the
you-
ground's covered in a layer of very thick ice.
Dren, melt the ice, please.
What would be the most destructive possible way I could do this? We'll cast Fireball at 4th level. Why not?
And what are the
Well,
dimensions?
that'll be
of...
The fireball is 20 feet radius,
20
so it's
foot
40 foot
circle.
in length.
Do those things move?
No, they do not.
It
It's
just
a-
puts it
it's an
somewhere that I
explosion.
want.
So are you going to try to put it closer to the end? Are you trying to center it?
Just past where it would touch us.
Okay. So what does Drenmai casting the fireball look like? So we can have a visual here of the.
That would be, let's
Is
see.
it like
probably be-
Kamehameha like type situation or?
No, because everything originates from her staff, so it'd have to be like stick it right in the ground, like right in front, because this one's kind of a powerful one.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of point it forward, and then brace yourself, and then like fireball.
Is it like a turn away too? Like kind of like a.
Oh yeah. I want to keep this eyebrow. This one's still growing back. So it's like from this itty bitty lantern that Drenmai carries around, this enormous like fireball just erupts out of it, like this flamethrower that just takes up the entire hallway, and you feel the heat, this heat wave just blast over you. It's like you were standing in front of a blast furnace when it opened. Immediately you're breaking out in sweat. Like it's like that flop sweat that just hits you immediately. Your body's just like, oh crap, we're on the sun. And it bursts out, and then it dies down as quickly as it dies down as quickly as it formed. And you could see that all but the last 10 feet of the room is now damp. There's the curved, the stone is still curved, and now there's ice forming, there's water that is now pooled on both sides of the hallway down where the floor meets the wall. Man, it's pretty deep. So you only have about 3 feet wide of dry space now that doesn't have any water in it whatsoever. And give me a perception check.
All of us?
Oh, everybody, give me perception check.
That's a 5.
5.
That's a 14.
14. 8.
22.
22. All right, so Drenmai and Eno, you notice that almost immediately it looks like the ice begins to reform. You're starting to see like that creep of the frost working its way back up onto the surface. So you feel like you have a limited amount of time before the ice would be fully back in effect. In this hallway.
It's time to move quickly.
So Eno's like, oh, we gotta go. Go. And he starts running.
Give me a dexterity check because you still are running on a rounded surface.
Okay. Just a straight dex check.
Just a straight up dex check.
All of us?
If anyone is going to attempt to walk or run on the surface, just to make sure, just to...
Oh, fuck.
15?
15, okay.
I'm gonna do a bardic inspiration. Alright, so that's 11.
Okay.
Total.
How about everybody else?
Well, 2 of the level-headed people have started running. There must be a reason. So Thunic's running.
Yeah.
Natural 20.
And then what was the check?
Blah, 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 blah.
I climb onto Nook.
And just rides on him there. All right. So, okay. So we'll get to the next part of this in just a moment here. So you all take off running. You do slip a little bit in all of this, and you lose your footing, and you start to kind of tumble down, and you hit some of the ice that's already formed again, and you slide down a little bit, and you're able to dodge most of the spikes, but you do catch like your shin on the point of one, and you take 3 points of piercing damage.
All right.
To your calf area, more like a slash, really, like a slashing damage type situation. But you're able to quickly get back up and get yourself back up into the dry area and run down to the end. But you still come to the end, and there's still that 10-foot last section of ice that the fireball was not able to completely eradicate. And I don't remember jumping rules. I think it's
an athletics test.
Yeah, it's athletics, but I would say that most of you would be able to do a 10-foot running jump, provided you pass it.
I mean, if you have a running start, you basically can auto succeed that. Like, it's
But being that it is on a rounded surface, I would still want to see an athletics check
Sure. Yeah.
to get that last run, that last leap.
I
to the
mean,
other side.
I think we're having a bit of a cart before the horse moment. The door is still closed, right?
On the other side, well, no, there is a flat section. As you get closer to it, you can see there is a flat section, and the door is in fact open.
Okay, well
Yeah.
then, yeah, I'm doing a flying leap through that door.
Athletics.
Athletics.
That's a 15.
Okay.
It's a 22 to boost luck.
she's piloting them.
Oh, yeah, that boost is probably necessary. I just rolled a 10. Hold on. Athletics. 14.
Okay.
21.
21. You are all able to make that final leap. And right as I think Thunuk, we've always said, has kind of been like the last person, the shepherd situation here.
Oh, that and he saw everyone else start running.
Yeah.
I guess I should start running then.
Yeah. And you don't want to overtake them in this situation. It'd be very difficult. So, and like Thunuk, right as your foot leaves the curve there, as you make your leap, the ice finishes reforming over the section of hallway, and you all stick the landing on the other end there, and here you find this open doorway here, same post and lintel construction, and you have the room on the other side you can see in. It looks again to be like a 30-foot by 30-foot room.
Cynic leans on his knees and sort of like stops and says, "I was holding my breath. I shouldn't have been holding my breath when running. Why were we running?"
The ice was kind of coming back, so
It's just ice.
yeah, but we would have slid into the spikes.
Oh,
Ice.
oh,
Spikes.
Okay, that makes
Ow.
more sense. Yeah. I hadn't thought of that.
So, I'm like, I'm not feeling good. So I cast healing word, and you just see like point to his arm, ow, like that, and that's healing word.
Guys, give me a second. Ow! Okay, I'm better now.
I get 6 points back.
But if it's a bard doing it, would it be like Roger Daltrey? Like a Roger Daltrey scream?
Ow! I'm back to full health.
So you can see into the next room here, and this room just appears to be a 30-foot by 30-foot room. Do you all proceed in? You don't see anything in there. It doesn't appear to be, other than you do see two doorways. You see one on the right, one on the left, two different exits out of the room, same as before.
Is there a chest
Nothing else in the room at all?
No, it appears to be an empty room.
So no chest.
No chest in this room.
And is it 30-foot by 30-foot?
It is a 30-foot by 30-foot room, yes.
I would like to cast Fairy Fire.
And that just creates...
Each object in a 20-foot cube within range is outlined in blue, green, or violet light, your choice. Any creature in the area when this spell is cast is also outlined in light if it fails a dexterity saving throw. For the duration, objects and affected creatures shed dim light in a 10-foot radius. Any attack roll against affected creature objects has advantage, and the affected creature object can't benefit from being invisible. That's the important thing.
And objects get no save.
Yeah.
You cast the spell, and there's like a faint outline, like the Matrix type outline around the room in the corners, but the room appears to be empty. It's not highlighting any hidden or invisible objects.
So you just see this violet light sort of start. He does this thing, and he strums a note on his guitar, strums a chord, and this 20-foot cube of violet light appears in the center, and he says, "Oh, all right, just checking."
Better safe than sorry.
So you proceed into the room.
Coin
And
keeps coming up right.
and
So if we go into the violet light,
Yeah.
then should I drop it?
It's fine. None of us are invisible.
Yeah, I know, but we would have to make a dexterity saving throw if we enter
Well-
the fairy fire.
Is it when we enter it, or is it when the fairy fire is cast? The things in the radius.
Oh
take
no,
the
it
save.
does say when the spell is cast.
okay, so yeah, so you wouldn't pick it up, and even if you left the cube, you wouldn't like take it with you. I don't think. It's not like you went
Yeah.
through like it's not like one of those color run things where you come through and you're kind of come out the other side purple.
Right.
All right.
Well,
Well,
but
I dropped. It's not
Okay.
I mean,
so you did that, but as you walk into the room, you do hear a rumble of distant thunder, and it starts to rain
inside the room.
inside the room. There does
Okay.
not appear to be any ill effect. It's not like acid rain. You're not feeling any burning. Just rain.
Weird.
I put my hood up.
But you do have
Hugon steams gently.
just it's the gentle steam coming off of
Is it actual rain or is it like rain?
No, it's rain.
Oh,
As best you can tell, it's water.
it's raining indoors.
But are we? Does Thinnock say that out loud?
Yes.
It's raining indoors. But are we indoors?
There is a ceiling, right?
There is a ceiling.
Yeah. This is ceiling.
Okay.
It's right there.
I would like to do a.
You don't take the opportunity to turn to Dren and say, "It's raining, Dren."
I don't get it.
Never mind.
Oh,
A voice, a disembodied voice from nowhere makes a pun.
Take 1d4 psychic.
The DM does for retribution.
We all take it. I would like to do a perception check to see if there is an illusion present. See if can I see through any particular kind of
All right.
illusion or investigation, whichever one.
I'd say this would be more of a perception.
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 Here comes a low roll. Oh no, it's 15.
15. Well,
Not
there's no illusion. It's just somehow it's raining.
All right. So you just see Uno like Uno. God damn it! Not playing Uno. God damn it!
draw 4.
Reverse. He's just like really staring around. He's like, maybe we are inside.
This does not change Hugon's course of action, which is to take the right door.
Okay. So you go through the right door, and as you all proceed through, it looks like a very similar hallway. But Thunuk, as you proceed through, as the final person, a door slams shut behind you. So now you're in this hallway now, and the hallway is 10 feet tall by 10 feet wide, and it
Okay.
appears to be about 50 feet long. And as that door shuts, it becomes next to pitch black in this room. Now, the folks with their dark sight, dark vision, would be able to see that there appears to be in this hallway, it looks like leftover bits of masonry that are kind of like strewn throughout the room. Appears to be, and I think we know Hugon does. We know Eno does. Did we establish that Dren has?
Drim does, yeah, she does.
So Thunuk is the only one without any.
I
Yeah.
do.
Okay.
You
So,
too?
yeah, Thunic is the only one without dark sight, dark vision, if I remember.
Any sort of vision, yeah.
He's
Yeah,
blind.
Just
He's
regular.
he just
He has no
uh,
eyes.
So you do see it looks like maybe like leftover from construction. Excuse me, like parts of like bricks or columns, kind of strewn throughout the hallway. So you would, for the most part, need to work your way around these things. But it looks to be that the hallway is about 50 feet long. So, do you proceed down the hallway?
The floor looks flat. There's no spikes on the sides.
No, you're not seeing any spikes. The floor looks clean outside of these bits of masonry and whatnot, these bits of rock and stone.
I touch the floor. I kind of get down on a knee and I touch the floor.
Mm-hmm. And just to
make sure there's no ice.
no ice. Floor
No ice.
appears to be spotless.
I assume that Eno knows that Thunuk can't see in the dark. I mean, I'm just assuming that we've been together for a long time.
Mhm.
Would you think
You've
Eno
seen him
probably
cast
knows
light
that?
in the
All right.
past, so he's actually going to cast light again. He grafts onto his medallion of the four and casts light on it.
Okay.
Yeah, so like Eno starts turning around like to say, like as he's gonna start saying something, but then Thunuk casts light. So
As soon as you turn around, you can actually see him like crunched up against the ceiling, like
okay.
holding his hand like this, like making sure he's not.
So the first thing is, as you guys start making your way down the hallway, let's start with this. Hugon, give me a D6 roll.
D6? Okay.
D6.
6.
Okay. And before we get to
wise.
that, real quick, Thunuk, as you're moving your way down the hallway, please give me a dexterity check for trying to move around this hallway as tightly packed in as it happens
I mean,
to
he
be.
can reach across, and he has to duck down just to walk through it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not so bad. But that's -2. So it is -2. Yeah. So 16.
16. You are able to work your way through. You guys are able to get about 10 feet down. The it is a little difficult. You did stub your toe a little bit on one of the pieces there, and you kind of did the Lego step. You know, you got a little piece there. But Hugon, you hear it sounds like stone on stone.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear like the sound of cranberry sauce falling out of the can. Like that, you know, that sucking noise of.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And you hear that somewhere further down the hallway.
Ahead of us?
Okay.
Ahead of you, yes. And actually, everyone give me a perception check.
21.
15.
16.
10.
10. Everyone except for Thunuk, because Thunuk is probably a little distracted having just stepped on, a Lego.
Legos. Yeah.
The rest of you, when you hear that sound, you look up and you see this, for lack of a better term, cube. Transparent cube drop
My
into the
favorite!
hallway and start oozing and sliding its way down the hallway towards you.
Delightful.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we saw one of those in that bar we were trying to open up.
The disposal unit.
Wait, was that this timeline or was that later?
That was
I don't
that was one of the alternate timelines. That's the great thing about doing time travel. You can just, throw out timelines.
Hey, Drenmai, you want to see if that thing burns?
What thing? What are you talking about? What's that? What's burning?
Well,
Lightning bolt.
why don't we
There's
do
a
this first?
gelatinous
If everyone
cube.
could just roll initiative really quick, so that way we can have an order of operations here.
Sure.
I'm not terribly worried.
Yeesh. That'll be a 7 or no 8.
Okay.
11.
Dirty 20.
Thunuk did an 11. Hugon.
That sounds like something you talk about when like the dog couldn't get out of the house fast enough.
What, dirty 20?
No, Thunuk did an 11.
He did.
Ah,
What was yours?
22.
22. Okay. So you would be at the top of this order for the sake of this. So again, I'm not terribly worried about you, but there we have it. There is this cube of let's just call it gelatinous material. Slowly oozing its way down the hallway towards you. So it's about, at this point, it is probably about, if it's probably about 30 feet away at this point.
Hugon will take the coin he's been flipping and just pitch it into the cube.
Well, it's Eno's turn, so we'll get to Hugon.
Oh, I'm
Hugon-
sorry.
yes.
I thought he got a 20.
He got a 22.
Gotcha. My mistake.
You got a
22.
dirty 20.
22. God damn it. All right. I'm going to cast do I think gelatinous cubes are intelligent? Do I think this is a gelatinous cube? Do I think it's intelligent? Do I think it has a way to...
It has no sign of intelligence.
Uh,
For everything you've known, I mean, gelatinous cubes are not exotic creatures. I mean, they don't, just work their way down the streets. Although that actually would be a good sanitation project. Just have them clean up the streets every day. Just put a gelatinous cube down there. But, they're not exotic creatures. And you know that they're just sort of like this mindless... I mean, they're essentially, land jellyfish.
okay.
They just mindlessly eat. There's no ill intent. There's no, they're unaligned.
Right.
They're a jello that eats you.
Mm-hmm. They're acidic jello. I mean,
In Faerun, Jello eats you.
in Faerun, jello eats you. Jello shots you. In Faerun, pudding pops you.
I want to attack it, but I'm not sure if I should attack it. But I'm probably gonna attack it. All right, I'm gonna cast Ray of Frost. No, I'm not gonna cast Ray of Frost. Wait, belay that order, Lieutenant.
Belay that.
Engage.
I'm gonna cast Vicious Mockery on it.
Are you able to do that
You're
on
a
a creature
stupid
that
cube.
has no intelligence? Does
It
that?
doesn't have to understand me. It just has to be able to hear me.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right. So I say, "Oh, what the hell is this? What are you, some kind of ooze creature thing? You probably fell out of the ceiling." He's just reaching.
This is not his best work.
Yeah, he's like, I could
Leftover
probably,
Thanksgiving cranberry jam wannabe.
I could probably put you in a milkshake. That's what his best he can go. I
Okay.
can put you in a milkshake.
So-
he has to
You're
make-
gelatinous cube, you suck.
he's got to make a Wisdom 16 saving throw.
You would think you would automatically fail this, and he does. So how much damage does the cube
All right.
take for the vicious mockery?
Yeah. All right. So he takes. Oh, come on. What's this? I can't see it. Oh, all right. That's not much better. 3 damage total.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And now here's the cool thing. The cube has disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn. So
Okay.
if it attacks on its turn, it's going to have disadvantage.
Okay. Hugon. It is your turn. Eno has just made fun of the gelatinous cube.
Sort of.
Has mocked the gelatinous cube.
Well, I think that his plan of throwing the coin into the cube will remain his primary tactic.
Okay.
Just so that he can see where the cube is at all times.
Ah, okay. Let's just do an athletics check because you just need to get it. This thing is taking up
Sure.
the entire hallway, so it's like it's essentially you're trying to hit the wall. You just need to be
Yeah,
able to get it
that's
30 feet.
That's a 23.
Yeah, that goes it. I mean, because if you bummed it, it would have been like you mishandled it and you did the bad throw where it like fumbles off your fingers.
Ping,
and
ping,
just-
ping, 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 ping,
yeah.
ping, ping.
So just chunk, and for that, I'm not even gonna count that as an attack. That's a free action because you threw a coin. That's not. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna hold you. That's your entire attack. It took you 6 seconds to throw this coin.
You set a precedent. Now we're going to be throwing coins every single time at
It
things.
didn't do any damage.
Throwing coins is a free action. That's just
Throwing coins is a free action.
Making it rain. Making it rain is a free action. Brian said so.
Just
I'm gonna start carving runes into coins and throwing them at things.
I'm not against
I don't
that.
know. Like, this is kind of not his area of expertise.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can I don't know how much I know about gelatinous cubes.
You know they eat people.
Right, but like, I would know that, or rather, would I know that they are sticky?
I mean, they're not really.
You could deduce that by looking at it.
I mean, the coin did hang out in the cube.
It went in. Yeah, it's not so much sticky as much as it is just absorbent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
like if you put your hand on it, it would stick. It might try to engulf you. It might try to suck you in. You might not know this, but you the character, not you the player. But yeah, it's not sticky as much as it is just, absorbent and acidic. It would burn if you were to touch it with your hand. But that's about it.
Don't have anything in my repertoire that would be useful here, I don't think.
Yeah, not without getting within range of it.
Yeah, not without getting close to it, which is
Yeah.
the exact opposite of what I would like to do. So
Okay.
I will pass.
Okay. The cube moves ahead 15 feet, just sliding towards
it
you.
scorps.
And it's just sklorps forward. You can understand maybe now why the hallway is so clean, because it just seems like it's. I mean, you really can't. You can kind of see past it. It's pretty transparent, but it just moves through all like the stone and everything. It just kind of as it comes around it, but it's still now 15 feet away from you, and it doesn't really have anything to do. So, Thunuk, 'tis your turn, and you do see now. So you saw. Yell at something. Not sure what. And then you see Hugon throw this coin, and the coin is now sticking, and you can kind of see where there is this transparent thing where it's like the light is just ever so off, and you can see it's kind of a little jelly-like, and it's moving its way down the hallway and is now about 15 feet away from you.
Does Thunuk know anything about gelatinous cubes? Probably not.
I would give you a nature check just to see if that had ever come up in conversation, or maybe there's like gelatinous cube jokes that are told around the fire or something. The gelatinous cube walks into a bar.
Wow, a 19?
Okay, to 19, I mean, yeah, you've probably heard stories about them. You probably know they exist. You know that they eat people. You know that generally they live underground. This is not something that just wanders around the woods. You've probably, at some point, you've wandered into, or not bumped into literally, but probably run into one of their cousins, like different oozes that, might have been a little bit more prevalent. Like if you'd ever, I'm sure at some point that Thunuk has gone into a cave, and that's where sometimes black and gray and green slimes live, and oozes. And so you're aware that these things are generally acidic. You don't want to get near them. They dissolve organic matter. But there's no intelligence to speak of. You've probably, you can't really talk to them. You know you don't want them to land on you. You know that much. You know that would be a bad thing.
There's not much you can do then beyond attack it.
Mm-hmm.
So, being a good sport, he's not knowing what the hell, if they can understand him or not. He's going to say to it, "You should not come this way. We don't want to hurt you, but we will." And then cast Guiding Bolt at level 1.
Okay.
Just
I'm warning you.
A warning shot. A warning
'Cause
shot.
That's the smallest thing he's got.
It's a little guiding bolt.
It's the tiny. And if we said the guiding bolt is the hummingbirds, right?
Yeah, that's the hummingbird. So he's sort of like pressed up against the ceiling, like, and he's got his hand up to his thing. And as he's saying that, and then he starts whispering at his hand. And
Would it now? Here's a question. I don't know. Do hummingbirds have a song of any kind? Do they make any kind of chirp or
I have
noise?
many, and they're all dicks.
Okay.
They sound like you're. So when they get agitated, they make this like sound.
That is exactly the noise I think Thunuk would make as.
So they make a sound like a charging railgun, just
Yes.
very small.
Oh,
he whispers.
And they're so honoring.
His whispers are when he, that's a prayer that he does.
Yeah.
To the four. But that's probably the sound that you hear when they launch away.
Okay. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
It's like those Whistler firecrackers that, the whistlers that make the big pop. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love
exactly.
this.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so happy I know
They're
this.
annoying little shits.
And is this a saving throw or is this just how is this?
It's a to hit, and that's a unnatural 20.
Oh,
God.
unnatural or natural?
Unnatural.
Oh, okay. So
4d6.
yeah, you absolutely hit it.
Uh,
So do your damage. Roll for damage.
so 4 little birds
Sit
start
on my
hovering around his
doorstep,
finger.
singing sweet
And-
songs.
They launch at the gelatinous cube and 19 damage.
Ooh. Let's see. Okay, cool. All right. Drenmai, it is your turn.
I'm firing my laser.
I was gonna say, does Hugon's order of light it up still stand?
Yeah, I'm just not gonna do it with fireball. I'm gonna do it with lightning bolt.
Oh,
I'll
okie
see if I
dokie.
can explode the jello.
And this is a saving throw, not a hit, correct?
You know, I wonder what happens when you subject Jello to an incredible amount of electrical current
And
suddenly.
it's anything like ballistic gel, it'll
Yeah.
cook wherever the electrical or the lightning hits, and basically solidify.
Really?
Yeah.
Curious. I would have thought
Thank
that
you,
it,
Mythbusters.
I would have thought like that because no, I suppose it's not
Well,
heat.
we'll get to that.
Yeah, okay. Well, it
Drenmai.
is heat.
It is heat.
Drenmai, is this a save that the gelatinous cube?
It is a dex save.
Okay. It failed. It didn't matter what it was. It failed. It did a it rolled an unnatural 1. So it definitely gets hit. Full force by your electricity.
Okay, give me a minute. This is 10d6. Okay, that's 40 damage.
Jesus Christ.
Nice even 40.
So Dren
That's
is
100-foot long, 5
100
feet
foot long
wide.
of doom.
just launches out.
Death.
You dark side this thing, and it just it crackles all
How
over.
big is the cube?
Huh? It is 10 foot by 10 foot by 10 foot.
Okay, so I get like a 5-foot wide chunk of it.
It just blasts out, and you can see now that if we're gonna go by the MythBusters thing, it's like you could see where the electricity passed over and through this thing, and it just filled with solidified, crunchy tendrils of where the electricity had passed through and shocked the living hell out of this thing. It looks like, the CGI of like the neurons firing in a brain, like caught in still form.
What, if this thing's if that beam is 5 feet across?
Yeah.
That part has been vaporized, but like you've got a chunky, crystallized.
Is the cube dead for all intents and purposes?
It is not dead for all intents and purposes. So, but now we find ourselves at the top of the order with Eno.
It's a very resilient cube.
Mm-hmm.
Eno points to that thing and says, "You can't hang with us, you jelly."
Mm.
And I need him to do a DC 16 Wisdom saving throw.
Now here, it doesn't speak any languages, but it doesn't say it doesn't hear anything. So I think we're going to keep on letting this go. So
yeah, no, it says it doesn't have to understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
It just has
So
to be
this
able
is
to hear.
a wisdom save, you said?
Yeah,
It does not make that wisdom saving throw.
that's going to be 8 damage. I rolled 2 4s this time.
Wait a minute.
Woohoo!
8 damage. Okay, so that brings us
And
down.
it's got disadvantage on its next attack roll. before the-
Okay. We're keeping up with that. Hugon, 'tis your turn.
I will focus my attacks on the chunky cooked bits. How about that?
Okay, that's fine.
I will get within the I'll attack it from as far away as possible as I can.
Mm-hmm. With your old pointy halberd there.
Yes. That's a natural 20.
Oh.
So I will
So
continue rolling my attacks. Oh, there goes my dice. Hang on. Oh. That is a 27 total. That's a not natural 20, but it's a 27.
well, it hits.
Okay.
Start
I
rolling
think
for
two's-
damage. Just start rolling.
Two's enough for now. Two's enough for now.
Yeah. I spent all of my battle mastery points.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
I'm gonna turn you into jello shots.
So the first one is 22 total damage because it was a crit, and I think are halberds times 2? Yeah.
Well, that kills it. So how do you want this to go? How does the
Hugo walks up to it, just like kind of assesses like where he thinks the best part to attack a cube is, and then just
now
kind
you
of
have
like,
a really good because of Dren's attack. You now have a really good
It's got a donut hole in it.
yeah.
Instead of like actually like attacking it, he'll just like poke his halberd point into like one end of it, and just cut the membrane in the like the outline of the rest of the membrane, so it just spills out everywhere.
Just and it deflates.
It's like puncturing a water balloon.
And it's like that. It's like the skin that's on top of milk. That's all that's like left of it as it deflates, and just there's this mess of just it loses all cohesion as the thing just spills out, and there is no longer a gelatinous cube in this hallway.
I want to collect cooked bits.
You're looking for anything that's in there.
Oh, I don't want anything that was in it. I want the cooked bits.
Oh,
of
the crunchy parts.
Yes, they look like crystals.
Okay.
I want crystallized gelatinous cube. That sounds amazing.
Weird.
Okay, sure.
It sounds like a dungeon candy. Crystallized gelatinous cube.
It sounds amazing. I want it.
It tastes like Bernie.
Jesus.
It tastes like acid hurt.
All right, sure, why not? So you collect up some of the of the burned bits of the burnt ends of the gelatinous cube, And so, yeah, you're able to continue picking your way down this hallway. Thona, give me another dex check as you're working your way down this hallway, because you still have to kind of pick your way through.
And then I gotta pick my way through leftover bits of gelatinous cube.
Yeah, now there's that,
15.
15. Once again, you're able to kind of get through. You're able to bang your toe just a little bit, not enough that it's like worth, more like like it's like when you yell ow, when you don't actually hurt, it's more just a reaction of having stubbed your toe on something because it sucks. And you're able to make your way down this hallway, and it comes out to this door. Once again, it looks like to be the same as all the other ones, where it's got the design of Beshaba, the stag's skull, malevolent looking stag, carved into the door, and you're at this doorway now.
Totally adding notes. Add item.
Burned gelatinous cube bits.
Gel cube crystallized bits. No purpose. Yes. There. It's in there. I'm so excited.
But you have arrived at the door.
I look at Hugon. I guess you want me to open this door too?
You've got it right.
Okay.
Should we take a look at it?
Oh yeah, we can take a look at it first if you like.
I'm gonna do an investigation check on the door.
Okay.
Start examining, and look at the floor. Do I see any trap floors?
All right, so we'll do an investigation for the floor. There would be a second roll for the door.
Okay, so we're gonna look at the floor first.
Mm-hmm.
Floor then door.
Mm-hmm.
Floor and door.
Well, establish the approach, right?
That's a 16 on the floor.
16 on the floor. Yeah, you're relatively certain there's nothing untoward. You're not seeing any evidence of lever pressure points, of pressure tiles, of tripwires, of anything like that.
So he says the floor looks solid this time. And then he goes up to the door and he starts looking at it. And yeah, that's a 12. That's a 12.
You're pretty sure there's nothing weird about the door. It looks normal. You're not seeing any triggering or trapping mechanisms. You're not seeing anything like, anything that would trigger anything.
So, stares at the door for like half a minute and just shrugs and motions to Thunuk to do it.
Start. Does the thing with the stick again. Poke.
Welcome to Avernus.
Gelatinous cubes.
Welcome to Avernus. No, nothing happens.
I open the door very slowly. You can't see my hand. It's down here. I open the door very slowly.
Nothing happens. The door opens. The door opens.
Debated.
Door opens.
Whooshed, as the children say.
Yeah, the door opens and you find yourself in a circular chamber that is of a 15-foot diameter. And it appears that it just goes straight up into the ziggurat. And you can see it goes up very, very high. It ends in darkness. You're not sure how high this goes. But there is some light from some source. You're not sure what it is. And you can see about 70 feet up or so, there is a stag's skull with the twisted antlers with more prongs than any natural stag you've ever seen, floating 70 feet up in the middle of this chamber. And as you look up the walls, you can see there's all sorts of, they look to be closed doors at all different levels coming from different directions that all seem to end in this area here. They're all closed. They're all like flush against the wall, so there's no like lip to stand on or anything like that. But you see the skull just levitating there about 70 feet up in the middle of the room. And if everyone would give me I'll give you a choice of either a perception or an arcana check.
Which check?
Either perception or arcana.
It's a
Arcana.
9.
A what?
Is this a situation where natural ones matter?
No, it's not going to like invert your mind or anything.
Oh, well, I got a natural 1, but it's either, if we're going for Arcana, it's a 4. If we're going for, said perception, it's a 5.
You just see the skull. I don't think there would be any. You're probably little. You're still recovering from stepping on that Lego.
I got a crick in my neck.
Yeah, exactly. You're just stretching out. You're like, oh god, I can finally stand. What were the other rolls that everyone else had?
27.
27.
I got a 21 Arcana.
21 Arcana. And what is our friend Hugon Valander?
9.
A 9?
Mm-hmm.
9. So the two other magic users, you can feel malevolence radiating off of this thing. You can feel almost the odds of probability being altered in the presence of this thing. Like the very weave is just falling into chaos around this thing. And you are certain that this is an artifact of Bishaba.
Finally!
One of malevolent intent. And this would be a good place for us to end this week's game.
And lick it.
I mean, props for staying on brand.
Listen, I'll always be branded. Yeah, okay, so
Little
that'll...
did we know, but the skull's like, oh, well, if you feel that way about me.
Hey, I mean, listen.
Well, listen, hey, buy me dinner first.
I mean, listen. Let's
Happy
go get
Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Let's go get a drink and let's see where things go. No, it's not that kind of game. Not yet, anyway.
Rat.
Yeah,
Darn.
So, yeah, that is this week's game. Thank you, players, for keeping me entertained for the last 3 hours. We're going to be right back with some table talk. So everybody, stick around. Thank you very much.
Tabby took.
Hey everybody, we are back with some Table Talk. Today we will start in Quadrant 2, and Quadrant 2 would be Mr. Gideon Reese.
Yes.
Yes.
Favorite moment is gotta be the sequence of events just in the temple here. Like, for one, the temple is starting to feel like something not necessarily that the Shaba cultists built, but like that they found and are just squatting in. Which is funny to me. Two, there's the ball punching gnome, the farting moss, and then God, what happened to Dren that was really funny?
She licks everything, and why?
I
Who knows?
licked a
She
lot
licks
of things.
everything, and oh no, yeah, she licks everything, and then she just like was like, I'm gonna steal from the treasures of the goddess of unluck. It's like, oh, okay, you know, I mentioned
I'm-
don't do
yeah.
that.
Wisdom is by, let's see, the long ways my lowest stat.
Oh yeah, no, and that's fine. Everything was extremely on brand, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, just the haha, like we're going to mess with you now that the temple is exuding is pretty great.
Moving along in an anti-clockwise motion, that would bring us to one Ivan Martino.
Yeah, this dungeon is a character in into itself, and I'm enjoying it. I'm still puzzled by this gnome, man. Where'd this gnome come from?
How long has he been there? What was his backstory?
Did we instantiate the gnome by opening the chest? Who knows?
Did
Was
we
it- was it-
teleport him?
was it a
He was
Schrodinger's
taking
gnome?
a shower somewhere.
It's a
He was
Schrodinger's
minding his
gnome.
own business, and as far as he knows, we kidnapped him,
Mhm.
and he's rightfully punching his kidnappers in various sensitive bits, and then running for it.
And then getting hellish rebuked.
Yeah, he died.
Vaporized.
Continuing along on to Miss Clues.
The gnome, because I'm super curious about where the hell he came from, and
His
I
entire
kind of
story.
his entire story, and I want to know, like, is that particular chamber like, a teleportation device, and if I hop in it, will I go somewhere? And then secondary would probably be letting me have gelatinous cube crystal bits, because I have no idea what I'm going to do with them, but they will have a purpose at some point.
They get rehydrated and make mini baby gelatinous cubes.
I like
think you might be in
well,
trouble.
like if I
Keep them
can
in jars
reverse
and like feed
engineer-
them like little fish.
Tribbles.
Yeah, like reverse engineer blight and make it unblighted.
God. Moving on to our friend Roz.
So I would have to say, whenever a party goes through a place and starts questioning every fucking door that they come up across, I think that the DM has done their job.
Oh, well, that makes me happy.
So
It's a door.
your situation would be high on my list, and I will say that the gnome situation was definitely a moment where the player and the character kind of diverged, and I was like, what's with the gnome? Why is the gnome here? But Eno is just like, fuck you, like,
Ow, my balls!
yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Those,
think-
those character divergent moments are fun.
Yeah.
And I've had this spell like since I started playing this game with you guys. I think that might be the second time I've ever used it, or I've ever had the opportunity. And the other time was also on a one-off NPC, the spider. So I've never actually gotten a chance to use it in a combat situation, because the other time I wanted to use it, the shaman was just touching me. I'm like, come on, hurt me, let me use my hellish rebuke on you. No, I'm just gonna touch you.
Yeah, it is funny that you've only used it essentially on like for all intents and purposes like innocent creatures that just surprised you. But I do like the fact that it's like Eno is like he gets surprised.
It's like fire.
It's like the opposite of like Thunix like blipping out into invisibility as a defense mechanism. It's like his is defensive, yours is an offensive. Like no. I've been sitting on that gnome gag for 3 years, so I'm so glad I've finally got a chance for it to. I've been trying to find a way to put it in, and it's like, no, this is gonna be perfect. And
Like the magic, like I'm envisioning a world where like that chest upon being opened, a creation spell went off and crafted a gnome that was then just like it's ball punching time, and you know.
I think I'm gonna have to write a story for
like lived his truth and then was reduced to ashes.
He was I think I'm gonna have to write a we might have to write a little short story about
It's like a Mr. Meeseeks.
Yeah. Yes, I don't know why I did not anticipate. I've got some of the notes I made here. Don't know why I haven't anticipated that Dren's gonna lick everything yet. I'm wondering when now throwing coins to be a free action is gonna turn around and bite me in the ass.
When I get exotic weapon proficiency coin.
Yeah. Thunix reaction to haven't you ever opened a door that hard or opened a door too hard? And like and subscribe. That's just ugh. What did I hear? Vicious. Oh, the vicious mockery of a gelatinous cube was definitely not expected. The fact that now we've invented dungeon candy of some kind. Yeah. We'll have just to see what's going to become of the pieces of gelatinous cube. But I'm very glad that I had you guys poking and prodding every single door you came to.
That's a very good reason. I haven't touched a door since that one fell over.
Yes, playing with a Temple of Bad Luck is definitely a fun thing because you can kind of run with it and you can get a little silly with it, and it still fits. So. But I didn't want to beat up on you guys too badly, because that wouldn't be fun either.
I mean, all things concerned, you've got a party that's just on the cusp of 10th level.
Yeah.
These are amusing annoyances at best.
Yeah.
No one's going to get hurt.
But, I mean, listen, the potential's there with all that, because it's not like most of the stuff, with the exception of a gelatinous cube, you can't hit it.
Yeah,
you can't.
You just have to outthink it.
Yeah, and that can be fun. And you guys came up with some very creative solutions to some of these problems. I was desperately worried that you were not going to open the chest. I am so glad that you did. Because then it just would have been, what's in the chest? Oh, God.
I like what's going to have to come next is getting that artifact and then getting it back to Zim the Unwise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's going to be...
Like, okay, that's going to be a journey in and of itself.
We'll have some fun. We'll have some fun with that. So, any new business? Any recommendations for the week? Any streaming updates? Anything of the sort?
There will be no streams on my behalf this week. I signed up for a certification course that I found out about last minute, and I have until this week to finish it.
Ah,
okay.
Do your homework. That's good.
I didn't get a chance to stream this past Thursday due to helping with something else, but I have every intention to stream Story Time with Roz on Thursday to continue playing Kentucky Route Zero.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Depending.
Feel free to take up my slots if you want as well.
I'll have to see what I'm doing this week, but I know Saturday, if my playing partner is available, we'll be coming back with some Saturday night fights, and we'll see how that goes. And then I would say next Sunday we'll be back with a brand new episode of Team X with more Dungeons and Dragons shenanigans, and we'll see how they go about collecting this mystical artifact, escaping from the dungeon, and completing the quest. This might be the actual first quest you guys have actually completed if you get it all the way to Zent.
And we're not even being paid. Which means like we might need to collect some of that cash on the way out now that we see that nothing immediately bad happened to Dren.
Have we not actually gotten paid for any of the stuff, or not Have we not
No,
actually
we
completed
got
any
paid
of
for
our things?
one. We got paid for one.
Huh.
There
We
have
got
been
paid
like
for the spider legs.
yeah, there's the spider legs. There's been like accidental services rendered. There's money coming into the franchise. You guys haven't gotten
Okay.
audited yet, but you know, but I mean, let's face it. There's been
Well, dude, we own a town functionally, so
yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean, there's money being brought in from Pinedale. There is the Pinedale contract. You know, there's the general the training infrastructure contract. That's you know, there's and of course, what you really want is the advisory consulting contract.
Oh yeah, don't
That's
worry.
the one you really want. So when you don't have to do anything, you just have to come in and hey, proto-human.
Oh, hi. Hello.
You wanted to say hi and bye to
Hello,
everyone.
goat keeper,
Bye.
keeper of the goats.
Keeper of goats, namer of goats.
Yeah, really awesome names. Venom
What are the
and
names?
Wraith. Venom and Wraith.
Nice. Listen,
Yeah.
these goats are metal, kids.
What?
Yes, JD says hi, Alex. And JD is saying hello.
Say hi, JD.
Hi, JD.
Well, listen, that is our stream for the week. So, yeah, keep an eye out for the podcast. Keep an eye out for streams. Make sure you follow us on all of the various social media channels. Bring friends. Tell them to come watch us because we're entertaining. And we'll be back next week with a brand new episode of Team X. So everyone have a great week. Be awesome to each other.
Bye.